Lamentations 1. Man, look at this city. Used to be packed with people, now she all alone. She was royalty, running things, but now she out here like a widow, a servant to the same folks she used to rule. She crying all night, tears rolling down her face, but ain't nobody there to wipe 'em. Her so-called friends switched up on her. Straight up backstabbers.
Judah got kicked out, struggling in a land that ain't hers. She got no peace, no rest, and her enemies stay on her neck. The streets of Zion empty. No more festivals, no more joy. The gates busted open, the priests broken, the young women grieving. The whole city in deep pain. Her enemies out here winning, living good 'cause the Lord let it happen. She messed up, and now her kids getting snatched up, dragged away like prisoners. Zion used to shine, now she looking rough. Her leaders ran off like scared deer, too weak to fight back. Jerusalem sitting there, reminiscing on the good old days, but now her enemies laughing in her face. She did herself dirty, played foul, and now she paying for it. People used to respect her. Now they look at her like she nothing. She ashamed, hurting, and don't even want to show her face. She let the dirt pile up, thinking this day would never come. Now look at her, falling so low. Ain't nobody reaching out to help. Lord, look at me. Can't you see how bad I got it? The enemy ran through her city, taking everything. They even stepped inside the temple, places they had no business being. Her people starving, trading their last valuables just to eat. Lord, you see me struggling. I got nothing left. Y'all walking past like this ain't serious? Ain't nobody ever been down this bad. The Lord came down hard on me, and I can't shake it. It's like he put fire in my bones, tripped me up, left me wrecked. Ain't no strength left in me. I got too much sin on my back, like a heavy chain I can't take off. He let my enemies have me, and I ain't got the power to fight back. The Lord took out my strongest soldiers, let my enemies run all over me. He crushed my people like grapes in a winepress. I'm out here crying, and ain't nobody to hold me down. My kids lost, my family broken, 'cause the enemy came through and took everything. Zion reaching out for help, but nobody answering. The Lord made sure her enemies stay winning. Now the city once loved by all is out here looking foul. The Lord was right to do what he did, 'cause I straight up disrespected him. But listen, everybody, look at my pain. My young men and women, gone, taken as captives. I called for help, but my so-called allies left me hanging. My priests, my elders, dead in the streets, looking for food that wasn't even there. Lord, you see me? I'm hurting bad. My heart heavy, and I'm barely holding on. My enemies laughing at me, happy to see me down bad. But I know you, Lord. You ain't gonna let them slide forever. Do to them what you did to me. Make them feel this pain too. I messed up, I own that, but they ain't innocent either. I'm groaning, I'm broken. Lord, don't forget me. Lamentations 2. The Lord ain't playing. He straight up wiped out Zion in his anger. The city that used to shine, now it's sitting in darkness. He tore down Israel like he ain't never claimed them. His hand, once protecting them, is now throwing punches. Every stronghold, every palace, gone. The kings and leaders ain't got no power now. He went off on his own people, burned down everything they had. Their defenses, shattered. The enemy running things now. Even the temple ain't safe. He shut down the feasts, the Sabbaths, everything that made Israel special. The king and the priests tossed aside like nothing. The Lord got mad and took it all apart. Walls broken, defenses gone. The city crying, but ain't no help coming. The gates smashed, the bars snapped. The king and the elders sitting there quiet like they don't know what to do. The prophets ain't got no word from the Lord, just silence. Jerusalem's elders sit in the dirt, throwing dust on their heads, mourning hard. The young women crying their eyes out. And me? Man, I can't stop crying.
My heart heavy, my soul crushed, 'cause I see my people starving to death in these streets. Little kids asking their mamas for food, but ain't nothing left. They die in their mother's arms, slowly fading away. What can I even say? Ain't no words big enough for this pain. Zion, you got hit hard like a wound that won't heal. Your so-called prophets lied to you, telling you what you wanted to hear instead of the truth. If they had kept it real, maybe you wouldn't be in this mess. Now, your enemy's laughing at you. Look at them. The city that was supposed to be untouchable. Gone. The Lord did what he said he would do. He warned you, but you ain't listen. Now he's tearing it all down without holding back. Your enemy's wilding out, celebrating like it's a holiday. They standing where you used to praise God, like they own the place. But you crying hard. Day and night, tears won't stop. Ain't no rest, just pain. Get up, call out to the Lord. Cry out in the middle of the night. Pour your heart out to him. Beg him to see the suffering of your children. Lord, do you see this? Women eating their own babies just to survive. Priests and prophets lying dead in the temple. Young and old, lying lifeless in the streets. You let this happen. You let the enemy come in and do this to us. People scream in terror, calling out for help, but ain't nobody coming. Our enemies laugh at us like we a joke. Lord, you the only one who can bring us back. How long you gonna leave us like this? Moral of the story. When you ignore God's warnings, destruction comes. Israel thought they were untouchable, but their pride led to their downfall. Even in the worst suffering, God is still the only one who can restore. When you hit rock bottom, cry out to him. He's still listening. Lamentations 3. I'm a man who's been through it. I felt the weight of God's anger. He dragged me into the darkness, shut out the light, and kept his hand heavy on me. Ain't no relief, just struggle after struggle. My bones feel broken, my body weak. He got me feeling trapped, walled in so I can't escape. Even when I cry out, it's like he ain't listening. It's like he set me up to fail, blocked every path, made my life rough. He waiting on me like a lion, ready to pounce, dragged me off my path, tore me down, left me out here hurting. He aimed his arrows at me, and now I'm walking around wounded. Everybody laughing at me. I became the punchline of their jokes. He fed me bitterness, made me drink nothing but sorrow. He pushed my face in the dirt, broke my teeth, and left me lying in the dust. I lost all hope. I forgot what peace even feels like. I told myself, I'm done. My strength is gone. God ain't coming through for me. But then I remembered something, and this is why I still got hope. The Lord's love never runs out. His mercy is fresh every morning. He's faithful no matter what. I tell myself, God is all I got, so I'm gonna wait on him. The Lord is good to those who seek him, to those who wait patiently. Sometimes you just gotta sit still, stay quiet, and let God do his thing. It's better to go through struggles while you're young. Helps you grow. So if you suffering, sit with it. Be humble. Maybe there's still hope. Let people talk. Let them hate. God sees it all. The Lord doesn't enjoy seeing us suffer, but sometimes he lets us go through it. He ain't out here crushing people just for fun. But when we ignore him, when we're unjust, he sees it. He don't turn a blind eye. If God speaks, it happens. Nothing moves unless he allows it. If we're suffering, maybe we need to check ourselves. What choices led us here? Instead of complaining, we should lift our hands to God and ask, Lord, what do you want us to learn from this? We messed up. We rebelled. And now we're dealing with the consequences. God, you chased us down, showed no mercy. You covered yourself in anger, turned your face away from our prayers. You let our enemies do us dirty, turned us into trash. Everybody talks down on us now. Fear and pain surround us. Destruction everywhere.
Tears stay falling from my eyes, day and night, because of what happened to my people.
I won't stop crying until the Lord looks down and has mercy. I see my people suffering and it breaks me. They chased me like I was a criminal, trying to wipe me out. They threw me in a pit, closed it up, left me for dead.
But I called out to you, Lord, from that deep, dark place, and you heard me. I begged you, don't turn away from me, and you came through. You told me, don't be afraid.
Lord, you fought for me. You saved my life.
Now I need you to see what my enemies did to me. You know how they've tried to break me. You hear their whispers, their plots against me.
They mock me. They laugh at me all day long. Lord, don't let them slide. Give them what they deserve. Blind them with their own evil. Make them feel the weight of their sins. Chase them down. Wipe them out. Let them know you don't play. Morale of the story. No matter how bad it gets, God's love and mercy never run out. You might feel trapped, forgotten, or broken, but if you call on Him, He will hear you. Stay patient, stay humble, and trust that He's working, even in the pain. Lamentations 4. Man, look at Zion now. Gold that used to shine bright is dull and worthless. The people who were once priceless like pure gold, now they ain't worth a dime. Even wild animals feed their young, but my people so messed up they can't even care for their own babies. They wander in the streets starving, thirsty, with nobody looking out for them. Those who used to eat the finest meals now fighting for scraps. The ones who wore designer, now they sitting in the dirt, covered in dust. The punishment for my people was worse than what happened to Sodom. At least Sodom got wiped out quick. Zion been suffering slow. The rich and powerful used to shine, skin smooth like royalty. Now they look sick, skinny and starving, faces darker than charcoal. People dying in the streets from hunger. Better to go out quick by a sword than to slowly waste away. Mothers so desperate, they cooking their own kids just to survive. This is how bad it got when the Lord let His anger fall on Zion.
The Lord let the enemy burn down His temple, tear down the walls, and destroy everything we thought was untouchable.
The kings of the earth never thought Jerusalem would fall like this, but it happened because of the sins of the prophets and priests, the ones who were supposed to lead but ended up leading the people straight into sin. They walked the streets like ghosts, bloody and dirty, unrecognizable. Nobody wanted to touch them. "Get away!" people shouted. "You unclean!" Even the nations wanted nothing to do with them. The Lord Himself scattered them. Ain't nobody gonna fix this mess but Him. Our enemies kept watching, waiting for the day they could take us down. That day finally came. We thought Egypt or somebody would come through and help, but we kept looking and nobody showed up. The enemy trapped us, watching every move we made. We couldn't go nowhere. Our end was coming fast. Even our king, the one we thought would save us, got caught up in the enemy's trap. To Edom, who laughed at our fall, go ahead and celebrate now. But trust, your turn coming. You ain't gonna escape the Lord's judgment. Zion, your suffering almost over. The Lord ain't gonna leave you like this forever. But Edom, your punishment just getting started. Moral of the story. Pride comes before the fall. Jerusalem thought they could never be touched, but sin led to their destruction. Meanwhile, their enemies laughed, but their judgment was coming too. Never get too comfortable in disobedience, and don't ever think you're untouchable without God's protection. Lamentations 5. Lord, look at us. See what we going through. Don't act like you don't see this pain. Our land ain't even ours no more. Strangers took it. Our houses. Gone. We out here like orphans, fatherless. Our mothers struggling like widows. We gotta pay just to drink water. Even firewood cost us. We stay running, ducking and dodging, but no matter what, we can't find no rest. We begged Egypt and Assyria to help us out, but they left us hanging.
Our ancestors sinned and now we paying for it.
Slaves rule over us now. Ain't nobody coming to save us.
We risk our lives just to find food, walking through lands full of danger. Our skin blackened from hunger. This famine got us looking sick. Our women been violated. Our daughters assaulted. Our leaders got no respect. Our elders left for dead.
Our young men forced into labor, grinding away while the kids collapse from exhaustion.
The old heads ain't at the city gates no more, and the young ones don't even sing. Happiness left us. All we got now is sorrow. The crown done fell off our heads. We messed up, and now we paying the price. Our hearts heavy, our eyes tired from crying. Mount Zion, once glorious, now sits in ruins, full of wild animals. But Lord, you still on the throne. You reign forever. You don't change.
So why you acting like you forgot us? How long you gonna leave us like this?
Bring us back to you, Lord. Restore us. Make us whole again like we used to be. Or have you completely turned your back on us? Is this really the end? Moral of the story. Sin got consequences, but God is still on the throne. Even when it feels like he's distant, he's the only one who can restore what's broken. No matter how bad things get, never stop crying out to him, because he's still listening.